Thanks, JJ, for joining me. If you'd like to introduce yourself first and your organisation.
Yes, I'm Jean-Jacques Van Oosten. I'm known as JJ. I'm the group CIO of Travis Perkins. It's a UK largest builders merchant. They have 16 brands. One of them is very, very famous, like Wix. Travis Perkins itself, obviously, as well. And we've got 25,000 colleagues and about 2,000 shops or branches.
Okay. What do you feel are the biggest challenges that lie out there for retailers at the moment?
I think wherever you are in the world, being in London or the UK or in America or here in Asia, there's been a long-standing race for space. And rent has gone up quite a lot over the last decade. Saying that, in the UK especially, with the recession, which is a triple dip one now almost, the rent has gone down. And actually you shouldn't really go for a race for space. You should move to something I would call a race for apps, if I may say.
Okay.
And that would be very relevant to Singapore and Southeast Asia as well.
And as well as the challenges, where do you think are the most exciting opportunities for retailers?
I'm excited at being actually calm and very focused in this world. You can get extremely excited at doing more foreign direct investments or FDIs, especially in Asia. Or the same thing, you could get very, very excited investing loads and loads of money in new technologies. But you do need to focus a lot. So I can explain that if you want me to.
Yeah, by all means.
So I think, if you are in a country like Korea or China, the main thing is to actually understand what your format for your customers and the value proposition for your customer is, and evolve it a little bit. And once you go and hit the jackpot and you know that customers really like it, then go for growth. And if in the UK you have 16 or 20% market share, and you start in Korea and you only have, let's say, 2 or 3% market share, instead of going in various other countries like Vietnam, you should actually go in and grow your share as high as you can if you've done it in the home country. And that's, I would call that focus. On the technology side, it is really important to go and invest properly in that space. You could throw loads and loads of money in new e-commerce platform, but the most important thing again is to actually go and attract some extremely strong technologists and digital marketeers. They don't grow on trees, so you have to attract them, get them via a compelling vision. One, you have them, if I may say, and building that team, you can actually go and start building a new value proposition for your customers, which links to new stores. And then you get the connectivity right in the stores, and then you end up with something in real time in some of your stores, online, offline. You can leverage social media as well and experiment with all of that. And again, once you have the right source, or the pixie dust is right, you actually go and switch, and actually then you invest quite fast. You do need to experiment quite a bit at the beginning.
So what do you think the future holds for multi-channel or omni-channel?
I think not embracing multi-channel or omni-channel and mobility as we speak would be an absolute suicide. You have to embrace it, but again you have to do it carefully, as I said earlier. Not embracing it it's a mistake. So you can see it in the UK with Morrison, where they have spent quite a bit of time thinking about what to do, and they missed all the convenience stores and format. They did some activities with Fresh Direct, and also they bought Kiddie Care, but actually they are missing the boat completely. And I know they are in desperate negotiations with Ocado to do something. In the meantime, you have those like Tesco or Asda who have driven all of it for the last decade actually, and they created a market in the UK for online grocery which is worth £5 billion. And that's where you get a lot of growth. You get 15% like for like every year on year, and that's a very first mover advantage. You have a big advantage as a first mover because you have sort of educate your customers on how to actually go and do the shopping online. I remember it started with fax machines,
Right.
then it moved to CD-ROMs,
Yeah.
then it moved to online desktops, then it's on mobile now. So you educate as a first mover advantage, you learn a lot, and you get an economic model that works. And then when you have that and you harness that, you then target other parts of the world where you can invest. And for multi-channel retailing, you do need a little bit of a network effect. So it works really well when you have in high density cities to do those type of investments, because you get a much better infrastructure as well to be able to deliver eggs and cakes, or in my case sometimes also building materials in a way that actually respect the product and provides a great service to customers.
Okay, so we've heard some fascinating insights and perspectives from the World Retail Congress Asia Pacific so far. What have been your key learnings from the event?
I think productivity seems to be a real issue in Singapore and in Southeast Asia as well, with some changes in there. And I think that natural growth and especially including in China is going to become a little bit more difficult to get.
Right.
So there will be a real requirement to actually understand your customers even better and even more than you do today, so that you actually grow. The market will be grown by customer spend instead of having brand new customers leaving some of the villages, etc., coming to cities. So that's a big change. The other thing that I can see is around trust. It's a very big difference compared to Europe, where in in Southeast Asia and Asia Pacific, trust around I will give my credit card detail online to a brand that I might not know that well is also something that is important. So you need to really pay attention to that. And then on the more fundamental aspects of an operating model within retail, I would say that there are some fundamental stuff that you need to build and invest in terms of skills. One of them is around data, your ability to actually go and have a really deep understanding of your product data and your customer data in a way that you can share it across geographies or across brands, that if you have different brands, is essential, especially for multi-channel. The other thing I would say is around your supply chain. If you are small, it might be a problem, but if you have the right set of data, you can then integrate with other players who do the delivery for you, and that will provide you with a good delivery of service for your customers. Is pretty important. If you are large, then you need to invest probably in a supply chain that will have 3 different tiers. One of them will probably be around big national distribution centers with a lot of automation. Something else depending on the goods that you sell. So if you sell light goods, that might be sufficient. If you sell heavy goods, you might need to have more local distribution centers. And then the third tier will be, if you have an existing asset like lots of stores, you might want to make sure that you use them as a delivery service as well, where customers can go and pick things and actually get click and collect working very well. And the last thing I would say would be the importance of cross-functional work. I know that's a little bit of a cliche, but the world of retail is quite often centralized with a control and command type of activity, where you design your range, your pricing, all the architecture and your customer proposition there in the center, and then you deploy it in the country with all very localized with some sort of degree of variation. Moving to multi-channel will require that aspect of the culture to evolve in a lot more cross-functional work. So for example, you can't really have a .com team with marketing directors in that space versus a store team that has got marketing directors in there as well, not talking to each other. They will have to actually go and look at the integrated message that they will give on social media, on mobile ads, on the local point of sales, the national press, the TV, and integrate all of that. And then you will probably end up with a much bigger return on your marketing investment. It's quite important.
Okay, great. So If you had to describe the World Retail Congress Asia Pacific in one sentence, how would you describe it?
You have a collection of all probably the best leaders in the industry, and that enables you to reflect, network, and actually evolve your own business from where it is today to what I would call smart retailing.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.